I've learned over the last 5 years. Um, the first one being that plans ain't failing. My plans, they are evolving. That is what I want to say. That, my plans have changed. When I initially wrote the initial 5 year plan, I was thinking to myself, you know what, I just want to be a millionaire. A year or two, I want to say, into the plan, I was like, why am I limiting myself? Why do I only want to be a millionaire? I can be a multimillionaire if I wanted to be. So it was kind of like seeing my plans and also just some of the things that I was seeing in this space and accomplishing made me realize that, okay, it's not wrong to aim higher than what you originally planned. And I actually met up with a friend of mine. She used to be my accountability partner when we were both part of the 5 a.m. club. We met up, and I remember saying to her that when I went to Japan with the girls this year, I sat down whilst everybody else was sleeping. I sat down and I started reflecting. I do this quite a bit. I started reflecting, and one of my reflections was in terms of my investments. My original 5 year plan had 125K in my investments, was a number back in 2020 that felt like I was overreaching, but also like the biggest number ever. I remember watching some YouTubers in the UK who had like 100K, and I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get there or how long it will take me to get there, but I want to start. So I chose 125. So I chose 125, and I have been working endlessly to achieve that. Then at the end of 2023 into 2024, I started seeing that I was, I think, 70s or 80s. And I was just like, wait, I can actually achieve that. I really can. And by the time we were ending 2024, I had already achieved it. I already achieved, and I say to my friend that when I started looking at those numbers, I was like, it is not wrong for me to change my goals. Okay. My original plan was 125, but life changed. My circumstances changed. Um, Information that had access to provided me with a wider view of things, and I was like, it's okay for me to change. So my plans, even though I did not accomplish everything, they did not fail me. They're just evolving, and I'm happy for me. The second thing I wanted to mention, which I've already talked about a little bit, is progress matters more than perfection. There is, you guys who watch my Transfer Tuesdays video know that this came from Mary over at Pennies, not perfection. But I also love the saying progress, not perfection. It's just something that I love about that statement. And you know what? With this statement, what I want to say is I want to celebrate what I actually have been able to accomplish. Okay, this is so important to me because I've spent so much time berating myself for not accomplishing exactly what I'd set. One of those being, I wanted by the time I'm ending year 5 to have 1 million in net worth. I'm not at 1 million right now. At the time of filming this video, I am at 478,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That is great assets to have for a single person, no kids kind of situation, you know? And I was just like, I need to celebrate this. I should not be knocking something as momentous as this down. It took a lot of hard work to get to where I am. So why am I being like, oh, yeah, but the goal was this? No, I am celebrating what did actually happen. And I think it's so important to remind ourselves that it's okay to celebrate what happened, even though your goal may have been, like in my case, my goal would have it was 1 million, and I reached 478,000. That's okay. That is okay. Yes, I want to reach 1 million. That's okay. My timeline was 5 years, but maybe my timeline to reach that is another 2 years. Who knows? But I'm happy with exactly where I got, because it is so important to celebrate the small wins. My small win, I don't know if it's small because I think it's large, but my small win is I did not give up. Even when I felt like giving up, I did not give up. It's very important to me to acknowledge that I did not give up. And the third thing I want to say is what has kept me going forward is the fact that I keep reminding myself of my why. Like I said at the beginning, my why has been to provide for myself in the future and my future kids, as well as my parents. My goal has always been to retire my parents and provide for them, just like they provided for me. Obviously, they are my parents, that's their job, but I want to say my parents did a good job. So I also want to give back to them. It's really important to me. So for me, I'm always reminded of my why, and my why keeps me going. Maybe part of it is a trauma response in being the firstborn and always wanting to accomplish and being expected. I think that's the trauma part of it, being expected to always be the one that solves everybody's problems. I'm working on that, do not worry. But my why, honestly, is more I want to provide for myself, my future kids, and for my parents, as well as my extended family. That is my why. That's why I keep on doing what I'm doing. And the fourth thing is what I want to say is setbacks. Setbacks in life often teach you strategy because when you take time out, so you take your mind out of the dumpster and start to really think, you start to look at what worked, what didn't work. I know for a fact that if I was to send as much money to my investment as I do to my travel, I probably would have reached new heights. But I think I say this in a comment that for me, it is very, very important to live the life that I want for myself in the future now as well. In my community, you often hear people talking about not wanting to have a pension because what if they are not even there to enjoy it? Then there is the other side that I've seen where people sacrifice all of their lives and want to only enjoy in retirement, only for them to have so many health issues in retirement that they don't actually get to enjoy what they wanted to do. And even if they don't have health issues, when you are a lot older, travel becomes a little bit more difficult, a little bit more strenuous on your frail body. So for me, it's important to do it now and then, but also it's about finding that balance. It has been important for me to actually look at the balance, but I also know that if I was to dedicate even more than I do now, I think I would reach new heights. But I know exactly what bits worked and what didn't. So I think that's really, really important. And as I look to the next phase of my life, I know exactly what I want to rely more on and put more effort in, and what can maybe take a step back kind of situation. The sixth thing is something that I think I heard in a video. I can't remember whose video I was watching on YouTube, but patience is part of wealth building. As much as I would like to be a millionaire today, I know that financial growth rarely happens you know, in a straight line. Because let's look at it first of all, like invested. I started in my ISA with £50. I grew it up to £24,000 before I started taking money out. That was over a period of 4 years. So it took some time. And in that period, the stock market did the whoopsie doopsie. It did everything and more. So I started to learn and realize slowly that patience is part of wealth building. Another thing for me was when I started buying my rental properties. So buying my home, I had obviously the money. Buying my first rental, I had the money. Buying the second rental, I had money. I wanted to buy another one and I did not have the money. And I learned that I needed to wait a little bit for my homes to go up in value so I could release some equity. So I had to be patient. I want to say I can be patient, but I also know I'm not the most patient person in the world. But over the last 5 years, I've come to appreciate that patience is part of wealth building. The final thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that you are allowed to be proud and you are allowed to want more than what you originally planned. Like I said about my investments, I wanted to reach 125. I'm currently at 154,000 pounds. And when I was thinking about what that 125 was going to look like, part of that was 60K. I thought 60K was the biggest number in the world, is what I wanted in my pension. And I think it was because back in 2020, I was at 60K. And I think that became like like, okay, I want to have this amount in my pension. I am now in 2025 and I am over 100K in my pension. In one pension pot, I'm 102,000 pounds. In the three pension pots combined, so that is the SIP, the LISA, and the workplace pension, I'm just under 130,000 pounds. So just those alone is 130, about 130,000 pounds. And it makes me really, really happy. I'm very happy that I got to that stage. But then I started looking about the years to come. And I'm like, okay, 100 pounds, 100 pounds. 100K was great. 125K was a great dream, but it's okay to change and want more. I'm now starting to factor in things like inflation over the years and how that will impact my pot. So now I'm thinking for next year, even though I won't be actively working on it, the systems and processes I have in place will help me reach my new goal of 200,000 in investments. I know I'm going to achieve that real soon because I have the systems in place to help me achieve that. So, my thing about the last one is I want to continue celebrating here on YouTube publicly, and I'll continue working on all of my goals privately. And I know that growth is continuous. So I know that when I achieve the next milestone, whether I achieve it or not, I'll be working on it and learning new things, growing in turn, I hope. But that is the video, you guys. I literally, when I started writing down like a little script, because this is why I keep looking this because I have my little script of what I wanted to include in today's video. I wanted to actually talk about how I am feeling, um, how it has been over the last 5 years. It has not been easy, but there have been times where it felt like I was breezing through. I think I've talked about this. Like when I was setting my 2025 goals, all of them scared the bejesus out of me. When I set 2024 goals, all of them scared me. When I set the 2023, they were high enough but not scary. So I thought I was underscoring myself and I made all of my goals scary. And I think it's important for me to aim for the skies. The moon and the stars, I think, is better than the sky. But yeah, so at the end of this video, I just want to ask one thing of you guys. I want you to let me know in the comments what is the one goal that you set for yourself that you are so proud of the progress you have made, whether you have accomplished it or not. It doesn't matter. I want to just hear from you guys how you feel about it, and what is something that you have learned over the years. And that is it. That is today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video real soon.